Cool. You're now listening to episode 21, Style of Play Football. We are back. We had a little time away. You know, the hard turn come around. You gotta just take a little time out and just. But to be fair, Kojo, you've been away, man. How you doing, Kojo? How's things?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I went to Canada for I think just under 2 weeks. It's decent, but the temperature, the feeling is kind of just like London, so it was like home from home. If you know what I'm saying? So,
Home from home.
home from home.
Yeah,
It was nice to get away, man. It was nice to get away.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. And obviously, anyone that's not watching this on YouTube, you see Kojo there. He showed me his additional little thing he's had to do the podcast with this week, man. But no, hopefully speedy recovery. It's never good to see anyone on crutches, man. But yeah, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad still. But more madder than that. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go to the Spotify. Make sure you hit the notification bell on there. Make sure you go to Free Midfield as well. Make sure you go and follow Free Midfield. The other podcast Kojo's on as well. But madder than that is the results this weekend were just mental. Like I can't even believe some of the results away from the Premier League as well. Like I've been following the Championship very closely. Like obviously the top three, Leicester, Ipswich and Leeds, they're doing their thing there. Bolton, Derby, it's mental in League One as well. I think Derby won 3-0 against Leyton Orient. Their promotional ride is still going on. But let's take it back to the Premier League, because obviously Manchester United, we anyone that knows us knows obviously Kojo, big United fan. But talk to me, man, because that game was a bit mad. We gotta be honest.
Bro, it was chaotic, man. I think when you asked me for a prediction last time, I said a 1-1 draw. So I wasn't far off. This is how Man United games go, man. And we don't ever know how to keep. No, I can't say keep a lead in this situation because we're never in the lead. We always have to react to something, and then even if we do something right, we then take our foot off the gas and just let anyone and everyone pretty much power pressure on us and we concede. But there's this one main area that's a problem, man. It's that right side, man. It's that right side. I keep saying it.
But Dallo, Garnacho.
Yeah, there's something missing there, and the thing is, it's a thing that I think that they've adapted where Ten Hag also almost, I see this Ten Hag vision of how he wants the team to play. It's always on the ball, off the ball. They're shambles, bro. They're absolute shambles. There's no cohesion. And the person I felt sorry for was Willy Kwambala. They made him suffer.
No, I'm glad you said that, because I was watching that game. I was thinking, what a game to throw him in. Like, I know. There's no other choices due to injuries, but what a game for him, man. Because he just looked exposed. Even Casemiro ahead of him, and not blaming Kobe Mainoo at all, but those two in the midfield did not help the defense at all.
No, they didn't. And this is why I was so annoyed with Dallo, because if you're talking about defenders, the back four, literally, or back five, whichever formation you play, you guys depend on each other. Mm-hmm. The midfielders are supposed to help you, but you guys, the communication is so key. And if someone's suffering, you look towards your partner, whether it's your centre-back partner or the guy on the left side or right side, to back you up. Same thing Rio Ferdinand used to say. Rio Ferdinand said in his show that when he was defending, he never had to worry about what was behind him because Gary Neville was there. He knew
got to clean up.
His support network was there, no matter what. And on this occasion, Kwambala couldn't turn around and say, "I know that Dallo's behind him." That goal that Kluivert scored, Dallo, it was looking at him, hands up, trying to blame him. This is the kind of stuff that we concede, and this is where I don't understand here Ten Hag's thought process when he partners players. Wan-Bissaka is the right back. Dallo is a right back that can also play left back by trade. He's shown it.
That's why
continue to play.
That's why I'm puzzled why you're playing a right back at left back and you got someone that can play left back at right back. That don't make no sense.
It's not logical. There's no logic to it.
It made no sense, man.
And then obviously United fans were obviously again the Casemiro talk. He's old, he's this and the other. Look, I keep saying this. Casemiro from the start of the season to the end of the season has been left to suffer. Kobe Mino is not a number 6, and quite frankly, if anyone wants to put him as a low 6, they're asking for trouble. On the ball, fantastic. Off the ball, no. But he's young, so he'll learn, no problem. But you put Casemiro with Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes in the centre midfield at the beginning of the season and expected him to clean up when he had 4 or 5 players running at him by himself. Then you put McTominay there, and everyone knows McTominay's positional sense is non-existent. So there's no cohesion, there's no chemistry at the back, and this is why it's easy for a team like Bournemouth to go forward. Solanke even he could have even walked into the box. He decided to shoot from the edge of the box. Same old, bro. This is why Ten Hag won't survive at this club. I'm saying it now. Actually, he's done. I'm saying he's done.
I'm glad you remember. I said this to you on Friday. Remember, was it Friday? We done the Twitter space. I said I don't think I personally, and I said it to you after the game as well. I personally don't think Ten Hag has got much time left in this squad, and not because he walked out in the press conference, but slowly you've been seeing. We were lucky because you was away, or I think you was like in between flying or coming back when we were going to do the Chelsea game, and even that game, like the things. I'm talking from a Chelsea manager's perspective, where like we're making the same mistakes. So I'm talking to myself here, but even the substitutions, like I think. I get the Garnacho one, okay. That kind of needed to happen. You know, Diallo coming in. Mason Mount coming in, I think he came in like 70th minute or something. And the bench didn't scream options to me. I think the only others were probably Amrabat, Ericsson was on the bench, and that was it really. Yeah. There was no one else really effectively you could see coming into the game and maybe changing it. And for me personally, I think Ten Hag knows he's now on borrowed. He's been on borrowed time. He knows that, but to lose in the way that he did against Bournemouth, we had to credit Bournemouth as well because they played very, very well. Like that's a game where I don't think people would have said, "Oh, Bournemouth would have done so well." They might have got a victory, but not in a way that they did. And you know, they just looked comfortable. The amount of shots United were facing, just unnecessary shots, bro. Like they're unnecessary shots that United don't even need to be facing. But that goes back to your point about the midfield. The fact that you got Dallo, who for me personally, I would have him on the left, put Aaron Wan-Bissaka where he needs to be, and it just supports the two centre backs a bit better as well because they were both exposed. As much as I talk about Harry Maguire, he was exposed just as much as Kambala was exposed as well, and the two just didn't go together. It was just mental to watch.
What you said about the shots faced, you know, we are second in the league for most shots faced.
It's disgraceful, man. It's 400 and so. I think that the stat they put up was like 400 and I think the only other team I think is Burnley that's faced more shots, and look where they are.
We're in the 500s, bro.
Oh, okay, that's even worse. I'm trying to make you feel better on a Monday morning. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do my job here.
We're in the 500s, man. We must expose it. You know what I mean? It's a horror show. It's a horror show, and throughout the season, you've seen it, I've seen it. Anyone that's listening to this has seen it. The only person that refuses to address it seems to be the manager, and it's weird because Dallo can go into an interview after the game and say these things, so the players identify it. You identify it, but no one's doing anything about it.
But that's stubbornness. That's stubbornness from the manager. The manager has a particular way he wants his team to play, and he's that stubborn. He ain't willing to adapt. And I'm not saying that you should always have to adapt. You shouldn't have to always adapt your team to play a particular way if it's not working 1A. But you have to have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C, so you can stick to your plan A. No one's not saying move away from plan A, but if it's not working in a game and you can see something isn't working, you gotta go to another plan. You gotta have plan B and C, and this is what we talk about Poch all the time. That he hasn't got a plan B or a C. The same with Ten Hag. You know, I think these managers have to be able to adapt in the game, critical moments, and at the right time in the game. They have to. I get the Garnacho one, Dallo coming in. I get it, but Bournemouth were just pressuring every time they got the ball. Yeah. You thought, they could be scoring 3 or 4 here. Like, this isn't like, there's nothing from United. And United, for me personally, were lucky as well. I don't think that handball, for me personally, I mean, you might like differ on this, but I don't think it was even a penalty. I'll be honest. I don't know. it was a soft one. But to me, it's a soft penalty because his arms, he moves it out slightly, but I think that's just his body adjustment. Like no one moves their body with their arms directly by their side. You move them a little bit. Do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts on the penalty?
At first, when I saw it, I said no. I don't think it's penalty. After seeing it after, I thought, actually, yes, it is. And the only reason why I say yes is because, one, unfortunately for him, once you make that movement and your arm looks like he's going towards the ball, you're in trouble. So it looks like he's almost trying to usher it away a little bit. Again, we all know the body moves in certain ways when you're trying to jump, when you're trying to move out of the way, so you can't, or you're not looking to naturally, say, oh, I must move my arms in my side even though my balance is going way off. Well, that's how they see things. But I'll say the one thing that didn't help him was his reaction when the referee was looking at him and thinking about it.
You can't give a man. You can't give a penalty because a man looks at the ref though. That's mad. What are we doing?
No. But as in,
like the guilty look.
Yeah.
But
and then when he blew the whistle, he put his hands down like, oh man.
He's just pissed off though. Like, remember? Nah, man. I hear what you're saying. Go on. Sorry.
No, I know where you're going. You're not wrong. But for me, I'm saying if I'm adamant that that's not penalty, I'm running to the referee and I'm screaming. I'm saying that's not penalty. Go to VAR immediately.
Yeah, but you can do that back in the day. You can't do that now because you get booked. That's what I'm trying to say. I think. No,
I'll hold that though. Give me my dissent. But if it means that you go to VAR camera yourself and you look at it and say, actually, you know what? Not penalty. I'll hold that. But the fact that because of the way they reacted, I just think once your arm moves in the way that it looks like it's trying to go towards the ball, you're in trouble.
He's just turning his body, though, isn't it? Like I said, no one walks like penguins in football or runs like penguins in football. Like your arms are gonna move. So for me, look, they've been given to other teams. So like I think Chelsea might have had one similar given to them this season where it wasn't really a penalty. So every team's getting them, but and this goes back to the whole VAR, clear and obvious errors sort of thing. Like if it's not clear and obvious, then he should be checking that. I don't know. He should be going, not in the room. The ref should go over to the thing and say, look, let me have another look at this and see if it's right. But I get your point though. Like I don't know, man. I just think it was a harsh one. And then their penalty that they potentially should have had. Look, I can see both sides. It did go into the box, but I do think that was the right call. That it was out. It started outside the box. The contact. I think it was Ryan Christie. I think that was fouled outside the box, and that one I agree with. But sometimes, man, these dodgy penalties that we're seeing, man, I just think, but point's a point, man. You'll take the point surely at the vitality, man. And I think those kind of results, though, for me, keep Ten Hag slightly in a job a bit longer. Had you lost that, and then obviously you got Coventry, I think, coming up now this weekend in the FA Cup. If he loses that game, I think he's got to go.
Sack him. I'm saying it. If he does not win against Coventry, sack him.
You gotta go, because, man.
Bro, the perfect way for me to sum up this Ten Hag season this year is Newcastle smacked Tottenham 4-0 and you still can't take advantage of it. You knew Villa were going to Arsenal the next day. Arsenal are trying to challenge for the title, so they could potentially lose that game and lose it well, and you're still going to take advantage of it. That sums up the season. It's not good enough.
Fulham beating West Ham as well done you a favour.
You know what it is, yeah? I can't lie. I'm even annoyed that I'm even talking about West Ham being near us. I'm not going to lie to you, because when you hear what their fans say about Moyes, you'll think they're having a disastrous season. Am I sitting here thinking that they have bigger standards than us? You know what I mean? Chelsea fans, rightfully so, have been very disgruntled with the season that you guys have had. Absolutely. But you win your 2 games in hand. It's also an if but a maybe. But you win those 2 games in hand and you've got a better goal difference. When you go above us, it's not good. It's not good.
We can't finish the season above you. I'll be honest, we can't finish the season above United, because United fans, you're not going to hear the end of it from me. I'm telling you, from the season we've had, the season we've had, we should not be finishing above United, because we have been diabolical for 2 years now, 2 seasons. And I just think, and like I said on the Twitter space, I think the owners coming in, the first thing they're going to want to change at that club before anything else is the manager. They're not going to want to bring players in for a manager that they potentially they don't fully trust and want to fully back. They're going to want to try and change the manager, bring in someone fresh, new ideas, and then start looking at the list of players or the profile of players that they want to bring in. I think for me that would be the most natural way of doing it. And I just look at Ten Hag, even like bringing up I didn't want to bring up the press conference, but even the way he's now responding to press conferences. Now you know that the pressure's getting to him. Now you can see he's not able to hide that he's under pressure. He's showing us he's under pressure now. So the fact he's doing that, the fact that Garnacho's liking things on Twitter that's going against the manager and shit like that, it's not a good sign for the manager at all.
See the Garnacho behavior.
And Sancho as well. Let me add that bit in as well. Sorry.
Yeah, we know Sancho's one, but the Garnacho one in particular. That because when I saw the screenshot, I saw the first two ones because it was Mark Goldbridge's tweets that he liked, right?
Oh, is that who it is?
He liked Mark Goldbridge's tweet.
He's another dickhead though. I'm going to get onto him in a minute. We're going to get onto him. Sorry, we'll get onto him.
He basically said that why did you take off Garnacho, wrong decision kind of thing. Obviously Garnacho agreed, so he liked it. But then if you go further down into the messages, he even liked a message from someone that I've been on a podcast with called Alice Talks Footy, cool girl. She was saying a week before this game, why is Garnacho coming off when we need a result? And he went and liked it. It's like the guy he's so young, but it seems like he's got this ego already where he feels like he's the man. Now, I don't mind ego if you back it up.
Oh yeah, you gotta back it up. You gotta back it up. You gotta back it up. You can't be out here talking like Ronaldo or whoever, and then you're pulling out stinkers at the Vitality as well. You can't. Don't work.
This is my point. You can't do it, and I don't understand why. But actually, no, I do know why he's had this arrogance come into him. I won't say confidence because obviously he's a confident boy, but arrogance is a different situation. Essentially, what's happened here is he's allowed to go out there and also, or almost rather, be chesty with the way he approaches players and the fans, because the way they adore him, they change Viva Ronaldo to Viva Garnacho, stuff like that, and there's an adoration about him. So he definitely feels a certain way. My guy, just perform. You're young, so I have time for you to get better. You will not play a 7 out of 10 every week. It's not possible. But if you're going to be that arrogant, if you're going to say, I feel like you're the man and you should not be subbed,
you got to back it up, man.
That's it.
You got to play like a player that can't be subbed. Like, that's it. Like, if you're playing that well, the manager has no choice but to leave you on the pitch and look at alternatives to come off. That's how I see it anyway. But no, I agree. I think with one of the big issues I think that the owners or United going forward are going to have to do is de-link the gold bridges and all these other sort of toxic kind of platforms that they're associated with, because I think they have a massive influence on certain players as well at the club. And let's be honest, the players are listening to these things. They're listening to certain podcasts or certain whatevers. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna, as much as people don't think they do, half of these players are probably watching and listening to what people are saying about them. So, and that Garnacho tweet thing, liking the tweet, is a prime example of that. He clearly is on Twitter or social media looking at what people are saying about him. So I know that there's certain podcasters and certain YouTubers, they're linked heavily, they're affiliated very well with clubs, and United's got their own, Chelsea have got their own as well, Liverpool's got theirs. But you got to de-link from them because they're toxic people, and they spread a certain narrative that then paints the manager to be bad. People start believing that, players start believing that. Before you know it, the players aren't believing the manager, they're not trusting him. I know it sounds all comical and mad, but we're in modern day 2024 football, and this is how certain players now they get their energy from social media. So
I mean, the guy that was on, I'm sure you saw the video that I probably responded to from United Stand, where it's a guy called Faz who just went off on a run at Ten Hag. And again, look, I think we all as fans have naturally all criticized when things are not going well. That's normal.
Yeah.
But the way he spoke about Ten Hag, almost like it's a personal attack. I'm like, this is the manager of your football club, bro. He's not your father. Right? This you can't do this. I don't mind the emotion, and usually, if I'm being honest, seeing his tweets, he's quite a cool guy, and I've seen how people speak about him. So he's actually a cool guy. So this is not essentially a slander session of him. I just think sometimes I think we're all guilty of it. Once in a while, we go and we rant about something, and
We've all done it, man.
It's not necessary, but that one in particular, just breathe a little bit. Like the fact within the rant, you acknowledge the fact that he said that the issue was down the right hand side, which is true. We've just spoken about that. But he said that you want to always bring it back to Marcus Rashford or Bruno Fernandes saying about a superstar. So I know it's always those two. Those two weren't great, but they're not the issue. So it can't always be blame Rashford. Bruno Fernandes scored 2 goals. It can't be blame Bruno Fernandes. Sometimes you have to just say, look, Dallo, I don't care how good you've been this year. That performance was not good. That's it.
It's a collective. I don't think you can even single out a particular player that didn't play like extremely well or played extremely bad. I think sometimes as a collective, as a team, you just don't play well. And this is why sometimes when I record videos, I never really do them after the game. I never do them after the game anymore. I used to. And then I'll watch it back the next day and I think, it's just passion. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to just calm down, just reflect. And then like 9 times out of 10 as well, even after tonight's game, even if we lose to Everton tonight, Tuesday morning, I guarantee I'll rewatch the whole game 90 minutes again. And I do that to understand. Because when I'm in the game, when I'm watching the game, I'm not even fully watching the game properly. I'm in the zone. Like I'm not even watching it properly. I'm passionate. So I have to rewatch it from 2 angles, a fan perspective and then like analyze it a little bit the next day and see, I see how we lost that goal or we conceded that or how we scored that or that particular player, he's doing well now because I can see that he's doing this. In the game, when the game's playing, I might see it, but I'm not thinking, he's done well. I'm just thinking, score the goals, bro. Give me my 3 points, man. That's what I'm thinking. So sometimes you can't be doing these silly. I see it a lot with Arsenal fans as well. We're gonna get onto Arsenal later, but I see it with Arsenal yesterday. Like man are screaming into the camera. They're more like focused on making sure they're screaming into the camera and they're getting a good angle of them like being disappointed than the actual result. Like they'd rather get the views than the result. Do you know what I mean?
No, in fact, and I think this is where the clash with fan culture comes into it, where a lot of people have issues with your AFTVs and your United stands and so on. And I always say, look, I'm getting ill.
Man said the hay fever attacking it early, dog.
It's hitting me.
Hay fever.
Anyone that's watching, if you have hay fever, you know these eyes.
You know what? I'm laughing, but I can't remember what day it was. Saturday, someone was cutting the grass outside, and the first bit, your nose just goes a little bit and you get a bit like you can't really breathe. It's a bit stuffy. And I thought, don't even, it's only April, man. Don't start this yet. Don't start man. Don't start yet.
Honestly, man. Hay fever is hell. Absolute hell. But,
it's chaotic, man. Chaotic.
The fan culture thing, quickly before I shut up, is when you have all these dramatic people go on these channels and they're just shouting and there's no real logic coming out of what they're trying to say. There's no real, understanding of what they are upset about the game. It's just pure anger and get this guy selling, benching. That's what fans hate, but we've all been there. There's people that criticize the channels are the same people that go into the stands and if a player's having a bad performance, you F and Jeff at him. We've all done something bad in one way or another. These guys are still on camera. It's what it is. But we can get to Arsenal. I'm happy to go to Arsenal.
Let's move over to Arsenal because obviously, no, let's do it the other way around. Let's do Liverpool first. Let's do it in the order of games. Because then it will make more sense doing it that way. Because Liverpool being on first, credit to Crystal. We have to credit Crystal Palace. Because going to Anfield is no easy task at all. It's a mad ground to go to. But I will say all that to say that this is probably the best time to go to Anfield. The reason I say that is because something ain't right at Anfield, and it hasn't been right since Jurgen Klopp announced he's leaving that club.
Yeah.
Something ain't right there. I don't know if it's behind the scenes stuff. The team's just ran into the ground. They've obviously had a lot of injuries as well, but even just with the performance, Liverpool just looked shell-shocked. They looked tired. As I said, credit to Palace, but what was your thoughts, man? Because that game there it was massive in the title race now.
Huge. Firstly, shout out Palace's goal because they were doing one-touch football that I didn't see coming. The goal was beautiful. Usually, when you see games like this, the first thing we do is, when Liverpool go wrong, why Liverpool so bad. Liverpool were bad, but Palace were good.
Yeah,
Palace
100%.
were really good. They defended well. They attacked well. They broke up play when they needed to. There was a composure playing out from the back. It was good. It was a really good performance. And as a Olise and Matata, that's his name. Matata, They led the line so well. So well. So honestly, just another shocker for Liverpool. I think after that European beating by Atalanta. Yeah. I think their heads have just been all over the place. Because I think Liverpool fans, in particular, the ones that I am aware of, bar one or two, there's an arrogance, almost like we're at Anfield. We'll do this.
But I get that though. I get that because I think it's only their first defeat at Anfield all year. So I do get it. I do get it.
It is. I hear it as well, but it's football, bro. You can never be too safe. You know what I mean? And me personally, I celebrate when my team's 2 or 3-0 up, and I know that we've got a bit of control here. Obviously, that can happen after, but right now we give it a go. You guys went 1-0 down, and there was no, I don't know. There was a bit of urgency, but there was for me, it's too much passing, pass here, pass there, pass there. Sometimes lock it into the box, my guy. Sometimes you need to do some prime Kevin Nolan to Kevin Davies type thing. Just get it going.
No, I hear that. I think I just think Liverpool are tired, man. I really do. I think they look as tired as Jurgen Klopp did in that press conference after the game. They look shattered. I know they've had their injuries, but what club hasn't? Do you know what I mean? Every your club's going through it right now. You got Shaw, Varane, loads of players out, especially in defence as well. Chelsea have had, I think we've got 12, 13 players out at the moment. We could make a full team, a starting 11 out.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're going to try and get onto them. But I think with Liverpool, like you said, Palace just outplayed them defensively. I was more impressed defensively with Palace because they didn't have that many shots on target, Palace. But the one shot they had, it was one that mattered. And I think Elise, Eze, oh my God, like both of them, like, sorry, Crystal Palace fans, they need to move. They need to go. No, they do. Sorry, Palace fans, I know this is going to burn because I know you want to retain your best players, but they are too good for Crystal Palace. Even Mateta played well, but them two, they're too good. They need a level up somewhere, whether it's across somewhere in Europe or somewhere in the Premier League, but they are very good to watch. They were exciting. Like, it was good to see them attack Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate and Conor Bradley, who I think that might have been like his 13th start for Liverpool or 14th start for Liverpool. You could tell that yesterday before he went off injured. You could tell that he looked very tired. Couldn't cope with that. I mean, that right side for Liverpool was just non-existent with Salah. Yeah. As well. I thought Endo had a bad game. Liverpool fans have been raving about Endo, but he just didn't look himself. Nunez, Curtis Jones missing sitters as well. Like, Nunez missed assists. Like, everything that could possibly have gone wrong for Liverpool did yesterday. But I generally think if you're going to be Premier League champions, those are the sort of games you have to churn out a result at. You have to get 3 points, whether you have to. You just have to do it. No ifs or buts. You got to do it, man.
It's a must. It's what Sats first kept calling it, man. Squeaky bum time. Just when you think, oh yeah, on paper we should beat these guys. No. It's not how football works, man. Palace are a good team. No matter what season they're having, they're a good team, and we all know it. So Liverpool have a bit of a dilemma, but we'll see. We'll see if they come back. The biggest thing for them is complacency, man. That's the biggest thing. They're just very complacent at times. Whereas I think Klopp, is he complacent? Nah, I wouldn't call him complacent, but I don't think I call him disrespectful. Because I was going to say against Atalanta, you saw the lineup. The lineup's a bit questionable.
Yeah, no. I think it's a bit naive. I do. I think it's a bit of naivety, maybe, because I feel that he thought that was going to be an easy game. But I can't remember what I said in the Twitter space, or maybe I said to someone else, but I said that not a lot of people watch Italian football anymore, or La Liga, or Ligue 1. You know what I mean? I was watching Lyon, and then I was watching Inter Milan last night as well. Like, there's sometimes if you're watching, and I'm not saying that they must have scouts and they must get, you know, data and all that from their scouting and performance analysis teams and all of that. They must get all that information about clubs, right?
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you're not arrogance, but we're in the Premier League, we're Liverpool, so we can kind of rest players. No, not against Atalanta, because Atalanta's actually a really good team. Do you know what I mean? And they'll tear you apart. And going there, is it this week they got to go there or next week? I can't remember. Whenever I think it's this week they got to go there now, Thursday or whenever the game is. That's not going to be an easy game for them. But I just think now for Liverpool, I think a couple of things. Watching them, they definitely didn't need Cody Gakpo. They did not need to sign that player. Did he even come on yet? I don't think he even came on yesterday. Did he come on?
He did.
He did. He came on the 66 minute.
I was fuming because not that I expected them to batter Palace, but I put Darwin Nunez part of my team with what's his name, Luis Diaz, and they both got subbed off together. I was like, no, you guys are mocking it. You guys are absolutely mocking it. But yeah, these players
don't need him though. They didn't need him.
No,
they needed was they need to get a solid left back, because Robertson has had his day. He's been very good for Liverpool. I think his days are done. Tsimikas, I'm not really a fan of. Gomez has done really well filling in there, but again, he's going back to that Wan-Bissaka Dalot kind of situation where, yes, he can play left back, but he's not naturally a left back. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't play him there. I still think they needed a Moises Caicedo or Lavia or someone in that midfield. And I think we were stupid as Chelsea because we just got them because we didn't want Liverpool to get them. But Liverpool really need another midfielder in that midfield. And let's be honest, the elephant in the room, Liverpool fans, you need to sell Mohamed Salah. You need to sell him.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Come on. Like, listen, I know the guy is a goal. He's a bagsman. He'll get you the goals. But if... this is the best time to sell him, in my opinion. He's got 1 year left, I think, on his contract, or something like that, 18 months.
Yeah.
You're not going to get another offer, I don't think, in this time next year. I think it might be his last year coming up in his contract. You're not going to get another offer like this. You're going to let him go on a free, or do you want to cash in on him? Because I don't think he's going to sign a new deal. Klopp's leaving. So whoever comes in, he probably wanted one more big trophy with Liverpool. He ain't going to get that this season, I don't think. This is the best time to sell him. You got to start thinking now, get rid of him and bring someone else in. I don't know who that person is, but cash in while you can, because I'm telling you, there's going to become a point where he's going to become the villain, not the hero. And Liverpool fans are quick to do that with certain players. They'll love you till you're with them, and then when you're not with them, you're everything that under the sun. Do you know what I mean? So you've got me personally, I'll get rid of him now, cash in, bring someone else in. Don't you agree with that? You think you keep him?
I haven't really considered Liverpool selling him. That's why I was asking the question, because
Saudi were coming again in the summer,
and I think that'd be a perfect fit for him in terms of lifestyle. You know, it's a Islamic country. You know, he knows basically. Yeah. Long story short, I was going to do it in more detail, but long story short, I think he should be he should be comfortable there. But selling him, I think Liverpool got to be a bit gradual with it. I think that's the best way for me to say it. I think if selling Salah is the solution, that's not a problem for me. I'm just saying, whilst I think he is slowing down, until you are confident that you can get a player in to replace him, or even better yet, the guys that you have forward are competent enough to compensate for his missing goals, then but please get him out.
No, I know. I hear what you're saying, but I don't know. I just don't know if Liverpool are going to take that risk of allowing him to. Because if he doesn't sign the deal, he's going on a free, which will probably mean if he goes to Saudi, the money that they were going to pay Liverpool, they're giving it to Mo Salah. So he's in a win-win. He's in a massive good situation where he can either allow the club, which I think he would. I think he'd allow the club to try and sell him. I think he wanted to go last season, but he kind of was told, look, we're going to have one push at the league. We're going to try and win a European trophy. We're going to try and get back into the Champions League, which effectively they've done now. I I think that was what, and maybe even Jurgen Klopp said, look, I'm leaving at the end of this season. Just stay one more season, and then we'll see what happens after that. But he should go. I think Salah, because I think you don't want to become the villain at a club. Thiago Silva's a little bit like that now at Chelsea. Thiago Silva's now become the villain at Chelsea. I know he's
I don't blame him though, man. It's not his fault, man.
Who, Salah?
Thiago Silva.
Oh, Thiago.
No, Thiago Silva. Yeah.
It is and it isn't. It is and it isn't with him. And if we get time, we should have time. I'm going to try and get onto Chelsea. I've just read something about Chelsea that I need to understand what's going on there. I can't even talk right now. I'm choking. I'm choking on the shock. But yeah, no. Credit to Palace. I think Palace done really well. And yeah, I mean, look, Liverpool now. Let's talk about the title race. Are they out of it? Arsenal. You reckon they're still in it?
Both of them are still in it, man. The gap's only 1-2 points. I think the thing is, everyone gets into panic mode. This is where City thrive, and this is the thing that I feel like City have over everyone else that people don't seem to understand, man. You can't keep worrying about City because, quite frankly, the name of the game is to win all your games. If you are playing games and in the back of your mind, City are there, of course they're going to go through it. Because I know for sure Pep's not sitting there in the press conferences saying, this is my... I've lost my train of thought now. Bloody hell.
City, Pep, Liverpool.
That's it. Yeah, he's not sitting there with the players saying, look, Salah keeps scoring goals. You know, it's similar to what we spoke about with Arsenal last season. Gabriel Jesus and all these players coming out saying, every time we won a game, we went back into the room and saw City won. We're like, when were they going to give up? Why are you worried about them?
Yeah, you got to just do your own thing, get your own 3 points.
Go win your games, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go win your games. And I just, so, no, don't worry. But look, there's only 2 or 1 points. I still do think City will drop a point or two at this.
You think?
In 1 or 2 games. In 1 or 2 games, I think they'll drop points in 1 or 2 games. Not lose, drop points.
I think this is, for me, this is the City. This is when City let you know that they're City.
Yeah, but
do you know what I mean?
still think they'll. I think there's a bit of complacency in there somewhere. I still think so. I think there's gonna be a game where they draw.
But then you say that, but then I reckon the same for the other 2 as well. So I think it kind of, that's why I think this 2-point cushion is very vital for City, because I think they kind of have that luxury of drawing a game. Do you know what I mean? And they're going on to win the rest of them.
Fair.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I also think Liverpool will drop points. I think they've got the derby, which I know they should win, but you can never rule that game out. It's like a weird final. You can go either. They've done really well the last couple of seasons, but you can just never, especially this season, you can never rule out Everton. I wouldn't be surprised if they get like a draw or something there. Arsenal still have some big games, I think, to play. I can't remember who they are. I feel like they got to play us. They still got to play Chelsea. I know it's not a big game, but in terms of the grand scheme of things, it is.
It's a big game.
It's a big game.
Don't do that to yourself.
No, you know what I mean. We're not in the conversation for the league, but in terms of the fixture, it's a big game. Not in terms of us trying to compete for anything, but for Arsenal, I mean, we could have a big say on who wins that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Arsenal could probably still drop points as well, but I think Liverpool, for me, the one team where, based on how they've been playing, maybe that after the Atalanta game in the week, we might understand that that's obviously going to be like, look, we were in for the quadruple. We're now not in for the quadruple. We've got to go for this. We've got to go for this league now. We've got to get this league.
It's a must.
It's a must. So maybe that might spur them on.
But for me, ain't no must, man. Get Klopp out of here, man. Get him out of here, man.
He looks tired, man. I'm hoping it's just tiredness and not like a proper illness, because he doesn't look well. But yeah, I want him gone, man. He's got to go.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's tiredness as well. A lot of people think, maybe for jokes purposes, but I think a lot of people generally think that he just has had enough of not being able to win as many league titles as he probably could have because of Guardiola.
He's choked a lot, man. Let's be real. Liverpool have choked a lot of finals, and a lot of the times that they could have won the league or the Champions League as well. Got to add that into there. Like, they should have a lot more trophies under Klopp than they have. Let's be real. I'll tell you that he's done really well, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. But the done really well thing, I think he has done really well. But the reason why I think he's done really well is because I don't think Liverpool were ever on this level of City anyway. And the reason I say that is because having, well, he's been here 8 years.
Yeah.
Having, how many times? So they City won two, and then Liverpool won one, didn't they? In their back to fifth.
Yeah.
So what? Having three title races and other seasons where you finished like fifth or just scraped fourth. Those kind of seasons, nah, then you've done really well because then I'm looking at your cover saying maybe those 3 years are not anomalies, but you were never, you were never that team. Let's just call a spade a spade. They were never that team. They weren't.
No.
And if they were that team, they wouldn't have. And when I say this, I'm making a point. It's not to mock them. To finish below Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Man United, to finish below Mourinho's Man United, it's not a good look. And you can say that about many managers, but fact is, if you are supposed to be the team that challenges City, like the way it's sold, they are the team that challenges City. They are the team that has taken City to the brink time and time and time again. And their head-to-heads is 12 wins to 11 wins, and it's like, that's a lovely head-to-head. But the fact is, when it comes to a manager's game, when it comes to a club's game, not the kids or the players or whatever level of game is. When you're talking about the head-to-head, City are clear, and if they win another one, this is not a head-to-head at all. At all. A head-to-head is Chelsea United. Man United won 3 years in a row, and then you guys came out of nowhere and started bagging the towels.
Yeah.
Or Arsenal winning the double whilst we won the treble and sneaking behind us and winning. No, not winning. Sort of setting off another title race where they won it in 2002, and then we won it back in 2003. Then they got unbeaten.
Yeah.
Honestly, not in our challenge, but your challenge as well, because that's when you guys went to the semi-final of the Champions League. Like,
it's true, man.
These are rivalries, not 5 titles to 2, and then potentially a 6-1 to a second one to 2. That I can't give you that as a rivalry. So that's why I say when I say he's done really well, I agree, because he's done well for what they are. That's what they are.
No, it's true. Plus, you have to think about the money that they haven't or have spent. I know they spent money, but you look at the gulf in, the contrast of what City has spent, what Chelsea has spent, what United have spent. Liverpool, I don't know, like without looking at the figures, I don't know. I don't think they'll be there or thereabouts. They've spent, but they haven't spent astronomical, and their wage structure is very good as well. So with the resources that they've had in terms of financially as well, they've done well, but I just think they could have done more. And I think maybe you look at some of the signings, especially this season, I think if they got those signings, there's last kind of pieces to the puzzle, like a Caicedo or Lavia. And like I said, I don't think they really needed Cody Gakpo. They got Jota, they got Nunes, they got Diaz. They've still got Salah. Harvey Elliott can play in those kind of roles as well. They've got players there, do you know what I mean, that can do that. I don't think they needed to add Cody Gakpo. They probably watched the World Cup and seen he done a couple of things there and thought, let's sign him. But strange one for me, man. But Arsenal, our beloved Arsenal. I can't lie, I was made up. I was absolutely made up with Arsenal. For the simple fact that, again, going back to that naivety sometimes, and walking into the Emirates, you probably think, 3 points Villa. But Unai Emery, I'm sure Aston Villa won at Villa Park against Arsenal this season. And I think I read a stat early this morning, like 6 o'clock this morning, that Unai Emery has not lost, since his exit at Arsenal, has not lost a game returning back to the Emirates either.
It's funny how football works, isn't it? Because
Crazy.
Because I think he was hard done by Arsenal, man.
You
You could tell, like, he wasn't. From the day that we found out that he wanted Zaha and they said, no, you're going to get Nicolas Pepe instead, you're losing that battle, man. I'm sorry. It's just, if they can't back you from the first second, they're not going to back you point blank, period. And I think he got hard done by Arsenal fans. It's funny, if you look at how they talk about Emery this season and Villa and how well they're doing, it's like they all expect the way it finished with him to finish the way it did. Or expected to finish the same way with Villa, the comments say.
Yeah.
the guy's a good coach. He's a good coach. He's a good manager. His European record speaks for itself. And he pretty much, the first half I said belonged to Arsenal, but in that second half he pretty much clocked Arsenal's weak points and exploited them big time. And one person in particular, Mr. Zinchenko, he had an all-timer of a bad performance. All-timer.
No, I agree with you.
Man.
I
keep saying it, bro. I keep saying it. I'll say it forever. When you put midfielders into defensive positions,
you get exposed.
You're lying to yourself. He's not a defender, and quite frankly, he's not a good defender. If he was a defender by trade, he's not a good one.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, yeah. Arteta has to hold this one because he had the formula. They were getting results. So why the hell did you change it?
It's mad. It's mental. It's mental. I look at Arsenal, and I think very similar to the Liverpool game with Palace, and I look at them and I think Aston Villa were so good in that second half, so good in that second half. I think Unai Emery made the right sub at the right time. We talk about options, plan A's, plan B's. I think when Moussa Diaby comes off for Bailey, that changed the game for me. That just literally the landscape of the game. You know, Arsenal had their chances. The thing with Arsenal is they don't have a proper, like a prolific goal scorer. They don't have someone. Gabriel Jesus misses too many chances for me. Kai Havertz kind of is showing us the Kai Havertz that was at Chelsea a little bit now, where he's getting in the right pockets of space and he's in the right places, but he just doesn't know how to execute them. And he's doing that quite a bit now. Trossard was a bit, he's up and down anyway. He doesn't get enough game time for Arsenal for me. And when Martinelli comes on again, someone that just wasn't really effective in the game. But when Aston Villa made their subs, I think they only made two. I think the other one was Alex Moreno came on for Zaniolo when he went off, I think, injured. And I think those two subs were so crucial because it didn't change anything, but it added to Aston Villa. It added to how they were trying to apply their game. And the two goals, when Bailey came on, I thought Bailey's going to grab a goal here. I just had a feeling because he's one of those players that normally when the ball comes into the box, he's either there or thereabouts already, or he just creeps into he's always at the back post, he either just creeps in at the very last minute. And he played that role very, very well for me. And Ollie Watkins, I can't remember if it's Emile Smith-Rowe that's trying to go back with Ollie Watkins. He didn't want any part of that with Watkins.
Nah,
he didn't want any part of that. He was just running side by side with him. There was no attempt to try and get the ball. He's just like, yeah, you're gonna score. And the goal was done very, very well. Loved Dinkova over was it Raya in goal yesterday? Very good goal. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question. I think you're probably going to answer it in the same way. But look at Arsenal's fixtures. Like I said before, they got some big ones coming up. Are they out the race for the title now? Are they done?
Nah, they're not done. Thing is, the only way they're done now is if they allow the result from yesterday to rattle them even further.
Do you want me to tell you their fixtures though? Do you know their fixtures? Do you want me to tell them?
Go for it.
Right, forget the game that's coming. Forget the Bayern game because I think that game is what it is. I think Bayern will get a result there. Forget the Wolves game. That's the 20th. That's the following weekend. Oh no, that's this weekend. It's this weekend. Then after that, they got Chelsea. They then got Tottenham. They have Bournemouth, who we just seen are doing things there already. They can do numbers. Solanke's right there. They then have Manchester United.
Yeah.
But you say that, but it's United at Old Trafford, and then their final game of the season. Bearing in mind, this could be a game where they need points. Yeah, the team they're playing, Everton, last game of the season. Now, if Everton need points, remember Everton are there or thereabouts. If we beat them tonight, they could be needing points come the end of the season, last game of the season. You don't want to go into that Everton game needing a win. You want to have the season wrapped up before you get to like Arsenal, to United. Sorry.
I hear you. I hear you, and those fixtures are difficult, but I still think they can still win those games. And I know you're not saying they can't. I know you're not saying there's no way they don't win those games. It's football, in it, but I feel like they have to look at these games and just say, look, we know what happened this weekend. We need to go and win, so we need to get back to what we're good at. This is why I made that point about why did he change it, because you finally found a balance where you had Jorginho, Odegaard, and Rice in the midfield three. And the balance was perfect. You have Jorginho who will sit back and
he does a lot of that.
like a deep line playmaker kind of thing. He's a bit more of an interceptor. He's not a tough tackler. That's fine. You got Odegaard for the creativity again. You got Declan Rice doing the box to box. He's a bit of a ball carrier. He's done it well this season for you. And up top, Saka's always going to start fine. Havertz is actually statistically proven that they also get more goals with Havertz as number 9 than Gabriel Jesus.
Yep.
So I was thinking it's either Martinelli brought back in or you stick with Trossard. But I didn't expect him to put Havertz back into midfield, baffling. I didn't expect him to put Zinchenko at left back and take off Kivior, baffling. And Kivior didn't play well against Bayern, but he's a lot more defensively solid than Zinchenko. And Gabriel always has to compensate for Zinchenko because Zinchenko goes from left back to centre midfielder, so he's never in position. Why did you change it? I don't understand why you changed it. What's the point?
It's a good point. It's a very good point to raise, because I think the only thing I can think of is in the back of your mind you've got a 2-2 European night in a couple of days, and you're thinking, I need to try and just give some people a rest on their legs, and I need Jorginho for midweek. I need him, so I'm trying to rest him. Maybe, but when you're going for the two competitions, you're going for the Premier League and the Champions League, you have to just take the gamble that they're going to get through both of those games. You have to do that. Because when you start tinkering with the squad at this late stage, when some of these players haven't really been getting the game time, or they're just, like you said, Zinchenko coming in against even with Villa, going up against like a Diaby, like that was always going to be difficult for Zinchenko. Always, like, it doesn't matter who he comes up against, because he's not a good defender.
Not at all. And the thing he had at City was City always controlled the ball. So he was, and you can be covered. You can your defensive frailties can be mastered a little bit. Same as Fabian Delph, who wasn't a bad left back for them, but he played there.
Yeah, but when you're at Arsenal though, and you got Diaby or Bailey running towards you, you ain't, like, things are different when you and this is why a lot of players I think struggle when they leave City, or not a lot, but some players aren't as effective. Like, look at Sterling, he's not as effective as he was at City. But I think because you're in a system that's so set up so well, take you out of that situation and put you into a separate environment, you're just a totally different player, and your weaknesses are more exposed now. I tell you another thing as well. I don't think and credit to him, he's gone on and won the Bundesliga yesterday as well. Granit Xhaka was a massive piece to the puzzle at Arsenal. I know a lot of Arsenal fans might not agree with that. He's had his moments, but they haven't replaced him, and he did a lot of work in that Arsenal team that went unnoticed. And you look at it now, and maybe if they had a Granit Xhaka in there, you could bring him on. You don't lose that game 2-0. Just saying. Just don't shoot me down. I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to think.
Because don't forget. Go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say, no, you go. You add to that one.
No, I was just going to say, a lot of the things he did, whether they were right or wrong, he was a leader on the pitch. He was able to galvanize the team. He was able to break up play. He was able to get the ball forward, dribble with the ball, get it forward to the attackers. That was his job. They don't really have that in that squad at the moment.
I think, it's a weird one for him, because obviously he had that beef with the Arsenal fans when he got subbed off, and from there it became a bit techie. But I always say,
but take that away for a sec. If we're talking about just on the pitch, what he done on the pitch though,
he was good for Arsenal. Yeah, he was good for Arsenal. I think when they sold him or let him go because he went to Leverkusen. Not that I was saying that he should stay, but I was a bit like, have you got anybody apart from Rice lined up? Because if you look at the midfield options, the Ghanaian is always injured, and what's his name? Oh, Nene as well. Like you can't,
Yeah, you can't rely on
obviously
him.
you can't rely on him. You can't rely on him, but even so, he doesn't get game time anyway. So he's just another guy that's there. But I didn't think they'd miss him as much as you're pointing out. I don't know if they still. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I agree that they miss him. But what I will say is I agree that you probably would have had a much better balance with someone like him in the team.
Yeah.
Because I think he would
It's a fair
be
point.
a bit more. Yeah, I think it would be a bit more positionally aware and almost sacrifice some of his things for the team. Whereas I'm not saying Declan Rice doesn't do that. I know Declan Rice can do that. He did for West Ham on their way to the Conference League win, but the guy enjoys being on the ball and going, man. So he doesn't want to sit.
Yeah, he's got to. He's got to be disciplined in that role.
Yeah,
it has to be. I think Declan Rice will have a better season. I think he's done really well this season. I think he's struggled at times, like you've just said then, in terms of that discipline. But I think next season we'll see a bit more of him. I also might bring in another player as well in the summer to accommodate in midfield. But we'll have to see, man. But credit to Villa that now puts them fourth in the league, in contention for the Champions League as well. You got to credit Unai Emery for that. You got to credit Ollie Watkins, that I think is on 19 goals this season now, one behind I think Erling Haaland, Golden Boot. So he's had a really good season. There's a fair shout. He should be called up to the Euro squad as well. But conversation for a different day for that one. Before we wrap up, obviously big game tonight. Obviously, if you're a Chelsea fan, it's a big game. If you're an Evertonian, it's a big game. If you're a Chelsea fan living in Liverpool, it's a big game. 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 But no, Chelsea Everton tonight, 8:00 kickoff. I think Dele Alli, if anyone who's not going to the game, is on Monday Night Football. So I'll be interested to see what he says, because obviously he's still, I think he's theoretically still contracted to
Everton.
Yes, but apparently, or is he on loan? Is he not on loan?
No. He went on loan to, where did he go on loan? He went on loan to another club. I'm sure he's back in the Everton squad. I remember reading something from Sean Dyche saying that he wants him to.
I thought he was on loan at Everton.
Let me even have a look.
And the reason I say that is because I'm sure I read something late last night to say because he's not appearing in tonight's fixture because he's on Monday Night Football, he has to have played like about 7 games before they can activate a fee for him or something like that. And because he's on Monday Night Football, there's only like 6 games left or something, or whatever it is. Theoretically, he can't play the number of games that they need to trigger the clause in this loan deal. So where didn't they sell him to somewhere in Turkey or somewhere like that?
That's what I'm checking. So they loaned him to Besiktas.
They loaned him there, or did they buy him?
Yeah, Everton loaned him to Besiktas.
Oh, so he's an Evertonian player.
He's an Everton player. Yeah.
Bumba Clark, man.
I remember they paid Tottenham like 40-something million.
I don't want to get onto Dele Alli. I don't want to get into him. He's obviously a troubled man at the moment, but has been a troubled man.
Yeah, he has been, but kind of expose myself here a little bit. On Snapchat, I follow a model called that's his girl.
I was going to say, please make sure you protect yourself in this situation right now.
Don't worry. That's his girl. So you see him on a holiday with her quite often. Like, I genuinely think it's got to the point where I don't think he's even training anymore.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It
looks
like he's always with her doing whatever. Like, she's obviously when you're like a model or kind of like that, you
get paid jobs and you get brands to do this and that with. Yeah,
exactly. You go to Dubai, you go here, wherever to do your.
So he's just living life.
I see him, like, he's staying fit. You can see he's still in shape. He's eating fruit, so he's eating good stuff. He's doing well in terms of
like the fitness side and healthy.
Yeah, but in terms of playing ball, I don't see where he gets the time to train if he's with her round the clock.
But you know what?
That's why I see it.
this is what we were saying on the Spaces the other day. And I was saying that sometimes I don't think. Remember, I was saying I listened back to some of that space actually the other day. But when I was saying about if you was told that you got to do your day-to-day job and then go home and watch yourself doing your day-to-day job, you probably wouldn't want to do that. You'd fall out of love with work even more than you probably fall out of love with work. So I can only imagine what it must be for a footballer, the magnitude that you must be on. Getting criticised and then praised 1 week and then criticised 2 weeks running or a month running. Pundits are having a go at you. The fans are having a go at you. You're not playing, you're not in the team, but you're training well. So I can imagine it must be frustrating and mentally draining as well. So credit to Dele, man. Credit that he's doing his thing, living his life, whatever. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing him on Monday Night Football just to see what he's like. Maybe that's the next role for him. I tend to see that a lot of like players like Theo Walcott, he just suddenly appeared on Sky Sports. Now he's on there most weekends. Mikel Antonio started to do a couple of things on there. Daniel Sturridge was the same when he started, came in slowly. They give him like the easy kind of games to talk about. So maybe punditry is the next thing he wants to get into. Maybe do his coaching badges on the side. You never know. Bit young to do all that, but who am I? His life, his body, his mind, whatever. He can do what he wants. But back to the Chelsea-Everton. Big game for us in terms of Chelsea. Like I said, we got, I think, about 12 to 13 players are injured. The news that I read when we were talking about, I think, Arsenal before, I'm going to get it back up because I can't believe what I just read. I was thinking, I can't believe what I just read. It says something like, let me make sure. So it says Chelsea have exercised options to extend Enzo Fernandez and Mikhailo Modric's contracts. FA documents have revealed Enzo has 8 years left on his 180 grand a week deal, which runs until 2032, while Modric has 7 years on 97,000 a week deal until 2031. So as I was reading that, are they saying that they've extended their contracts, which I think they had an option to do so? Because it says the opening thing says they've exercised options to extend their contracts. So I think we signed Enzo on a 7-year deal with the option to extend it for a further year, making it an 8-year deal. And I think we did Modric's on a 6-year deal, and we could extend it for a further year, making it a 7-year deal. And I think we were going to do that because obviously with the PSR and all of that, it looks nicer on the books because you're extending it over a longer period of time.
If you guys have given an extension to someone that's got 7 years left on his contract, that's a mad move.
Do you see what I'm saying?
You don't need to exercise that so early. That doesn't make sense. But look,
especially Modric as well, because Modric's a bit like hot and cold. You can't really gauge if he's a player that you want to extend the deal with. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think you guys need to keep playing him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
When I say keep playing him as well, I'm saying you need to make him a key player eventually.
100%.
That boy's good. That boy's good. He's good. He needs momentum. It's so clear. I don't like using the term like confidence player and stuff, but he needs momentum. You give him the momentum to go, he'll shine. Believe me. Yeah. Believe me. I'll bet my career. I'll bet my life on that. I think he's ready to go crazy. And if he doesn't do it at Chelsea, well, that's a funny thing because he's got such a long contract. Signing him is going to be quite a myth for another club. But if Chelsea allow him to really go freely and really just go out there and do his thing, give it about a month and then he's just going to go crazy. So that's me personally. That's how I roll it.
I think with Modric this season, I think I've seen glimpses that show me that there's a player in there, but I just think now, I was saying to someone the other day, like, let's just write this season off now. Because this season for me, even if we was to make Conference League or Europa League or whatever, just write this season off because it's been another howler. But there's been some pluses in there. I like Gusto. Gusto's been a very good player. Nicholas Jackson's second half of the season has impressed me. Since he came back from the African Cup of Nations, he's been a player that I've liked. Modric, like you just said then as well. So yeah, there's some pluses to take from there. But for tonight's match, I think it's going to be difficult because I think this is the game where we drew. I think this game last season, I think it was Ellis Sims. I feel like it was either the year before that Ellis Sims scored a 1-1.
It was, yeah.
89th win, 89th equaliser, 89-minute equaliser in the game. But we've got a good record against Everton, and like I said at the opening of this is probably the best time for Palace to go to Anfield. This is probably the best time for Everton to come to Stamford Bridge and try and get a result, because we are just in free fall at the moment, and we're struggling to string 2 back-to-back victories. Like we just said about Arteta, Pochettino will forcefully have to make changes to the squad tonight. He'll have to due to the injuries, but Chelsea just need to put out a really good performance and put a good end to the season, because I think there is a small hope that we could get Conference League football this season. And if we can do that, it hasn't been a brilliant season, hasn't been a good season, hasn't been a average season, still been a bad season. But I think to end it in that way would probably give some Chelsea fans a little bit of hope going into the next season that there is a bit of progress being made there. But to not get anything, to still probably finish in the bottom half of the table of back-to-back seasons, or 10th in the season, in the table in the season would be crazy, man. Couldn't happen.
It will get to that. You guys be fine.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. This is why I pointed out earlier about the points difference between our clubs, simply because I feel like there's still another twist in there. So I think you guys will be okay. But yeah, we'll see how it goes in it.
Yeah, man.
But I think you guys will be all right. Personally, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine.
Let's hope so. I'm not going to speak too much on the game. There'll be, for anyone who's following the Chelsea account, the Chelsea podcast from the Shed End, head over there after the match tomorrow morning. There'll be my full calm assessment of the game will be on there at some point. So make sure you go over to From the Shed End. If you're a Chelsea fan, then yeah, you'll be able to hear what I think of the game afterwards. But yeah, it should be 3 points for Chelsea. No predictions from me, but it should be 3 points from there. But that's a wrap, man, I think, for this week. I think that's been a wrap. Episode 21. Kojo, man, where can they find Free Midfield, man? Tell the people where you're at.
Yeah, Free Midfield podcast on all your audios and your socials. My personal one, Kojo, KOJO3 in midfield. Yeah, Free Midfield is probably going to come back on Thursday or Friday, depending on how I feel after the European games.
Yeah.
But definitely back next week for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. And as always, we'll be here weekly again now that the half term is out of the way. We'll be back next week as well, another episode. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to notifications on Spotify. Click all those, Apple Podcasts as well. Follow the social account. And yeah, man, we'll be back next week. So enjoy the rest of the week. Until then, stay safe, man. Stay safe.